this Premier League Week 11 review and futures picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5, get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with the code PLGP. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Monday, November the 10th. We are here to have a little look around the Premier League weekend, which finished yesterday afternoon. And as we head into another international break, it's a good time to have a look around some outright markets. I'm not sure what Baz has picked. Baz doesn't know what I've picked. But we've dived into a couple of different competitions to see if anything tickles our fancy. Joining me from somewhere in Nottinghamshire is Mr. Barry Penaluna. Barry, how the hell are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How the hell are you?
I'm above average. I'd say maybe.
I'd say I'm very well. I'm carrying a bit of a virus going around, isn't there, at the minute?
Barry.
I'm all right. I've got, you know, when you feel like you're going to get a cold, but then it never kicks in. It just lingers around for days and days. So that's where I'm at currently. Very tired and emotional.
Fucking hell. So you started by saying you were very well, and I was like,
well, you know, I just thought I'd try and put a positive spin on things, and then I changed my mind.
And for nearly an entire full second, you kept that positivity up, Barry, before dragging us all down into the mire with you. The overall under on your annual illnesses, we're going to have to keep track next year because it's got to be 7.5 over a 12-month period. Like, there's barely 6 weeks goes past without you complaining of some illness or something.
I'll just get on with it, you know me.
Yeah, mate, you're a working class hero, Barry. That's what they say about you. Yeah, it's fucking international week again, isn't it? Which is everyone's favourite.
It's no wonder I'm unwell, Malcolm.
Everybody's favourite thing. We have to somehow stretch to. We get about 38 minutes of drivel before we make some picks that we don't really mean and that no one cares about. And then we move on, and we'll do it all again in about 48 hours' time as well. So we will make some international picks later in the week. For the upcoming games, there's all sorts of qualifiers. So there's some quite exciting qualifiers in Africa, etc. So we'll have a look at them later on. Who's in the chat? I'm hardcore if you've joined in for this tonight. Bob D was our penultimate visitor. Joe Dollar is here. Joe, I'm padding out because my little scrolly up over. Here we go. Fef's here. Callum and Lee, squad numbers 9 and 10, were first in earlier on. Welcome along, boys. Wasn't a bad weekend of action in the Premier League. These sort of weekends are all getting quite samey now because the football's changed, Baz, from everybody fannying about endlessly to everybody just launching it in the box. It's kind of all the football's like irrelevant. So we don't play for a bit.
This long throw thing's just come from nowhere, hasn't it? Like, nobody was doing
changes,
it,
did it?
And now everybody's doing it. Like,
yeah.
Dan Burn was capable of doing that long throw last year, but he didn't. And similar with like Brentford or whoever it is, everyone's just decided, right, we're going to just launch it from the throw-ins. I did like what Sunderland did. They just moved the advertising hoardings in 10 yards so Arsenal couldn't do it.
Why not? I was going to say, because these things do go in cycles. It's football, in it, and for a while, everyone, even going back last year, if you think about what those 3 promoted teams were doing last year, the absolute insistence on fucking about endlessly until the other team scored, because that's what Barcelona did. It was like Messi's Barcelona won it, tiki-taka, all of that, and then Pep brought it elsewhere, brought into this country. And then everyone had to play like that. And then for the last couple of years, you had to take 15 touches in your own 6-yard box from a goal kick. And now it's changed again. And Arsenal, well, I think why Arsenal are currently 4 to 6 favourites. We're going to talk a little bit about the Premier League title odds in a bit. It's because they're at the vanguard of it. They've created this entire identity of that kind of football. And just like Brighton and Bournemouth and those sort of teams try to follow, and all the dog shit teams last year, Leicester City and Southampton and Ipswich, like they all tried to follow Pep, and the coaches all tried to follow that. Now the coaches are all trying to follow this new trend. So Brentford, for example, are like a Arsenal light, like a diet Arsenal, because they all play the same way, and that's just what happens. And then someone will figure out how to stop it. For example, move the advertising boards in, or sign a load of 8-foot players, or build a brick wall 8 inches around the edge of the pitch so they can't launch it. And it will change, but like I say, the football currently seems incidental. You'll play like 12 minutes of football where there's never going to be an outcome, and then there's a set piece, and that's when it all comes to life. So if you watch Match of the Day or the highlights, it's like, right, where's this goal coming from, the set piece? But yeah, it was all right. There was some late drama, wasn't there, in various places? Sunderland, Tottenham. There was some winners and losers. There was some usual VAR silliness, which Callum's already been talking about in the chat. We'll get to that in a little bit, Baz. What were you doing this weekend? You were going somewhere on Saturday. Were you Sheffield again?
No, I was. Can't think when I was in Sheffield. I was out Thursday. I was at Little Comet, wasn't I? Went to watch a Little Comet.
Any good?
Chloe in Nottingham. Yeah, it was really good. Had a big crack with them afterwards and stuff. So that was good. And then Saturday, I was at a gig, but it was in Nottingham without the kids. I was saying this is the first gig I've been to all year without Chloe in tow, because she normally will not say no to anything.
Let you.
She won't let, but me and Helen went to a gig. We went to see The Enemy. They were absolutely brilliant. I mean, I'd not seen them for about 10 years. But they absolutely, the atmosphere, the energy we put into it was just phenomenal. And they had a great band supporting who I wanted to see as well, a band called the Rosa Docs. So yeah, me and Helen had a bit of a night out, a bit of a drunken night out. But I realised you go into town. I don't go into town very often, other than to go into a music venue, watch a band, and then go home generally. We walked into a couple of bars where we were clearly like 20 years too old. Like everyone looks 14, 15-year-old now when you're out and about. Like, it's ridiculous. We did find an old person's pub to finish off with. If Fefwef's in the chat, he'll know what I'm talking about. We went in a place called the Thurland Arms. Honestly, it's like going in Jackson's on Shields Road, basically. Absolutely, you know, all the old disco lights going, like proper old-fashioned. But yeah, we had a bit of a laugh in there at the end of the night. But yeah, we had a good night out.
Very good. Kids football this weekend, Baz, was like being in the Europa Conference League. I think I mentioned that on Thursday. Friday night, away at Bishop Auckland. Picked Bob's mates up at 5:14 p.m. Got back in the house at 10:32 on a fucking Friday night. I mean, is that necessary? 5 hours and 18 minutes out the house for some little kids to have a kickabout. Preposterous. 1-2-1. Got away with it. And then Sunday, Barry, away at Berwick. Berwick, is people don't know. If you're in Canada or America, fucking Google Berwick. Berwick upon Tweed. So they actually played at Berwick Rangers, played at Shielfield Park. Bob got picked. I didn't go, luckily, because I had a game I was doing, Forest Leeds. He got picked up at 10:15 and got back in the house at 2:49. So that one was only, because that went to penalties. So that one was, 4 hours and 34 minutes. So, yeah, been an epic weekend for him. And Baz, like a young person, me, I have watched my first ever, full series of YouTube, content. So I was actually waiting. The new episode dropped, as the kids would say, Barry, just today. I was actually having to search when the new episode was dropping because I was excited for it. And I've just had to pause it now so I could talk to you for half an hour.
What is it you're watching?
So are you aware of, or is anyone in the chat aware of, the Internet Invitational Golf?
No.
No. So, turns out, there's a lot of YouTube golf content creators, a bit like, so Bob watches loads of football stuff, and you've probably seen that. It's kind of like a Soccer AM type thing where they'll be doing certain challenges or skills or visiting certain places. Well, there's a big golf scene apparently in YouTube content creation. Quite a lot of women in skimpy outfits hitting golf shots and stuff. But there's loads of, like Barstool Sports, El Presidente, Dave Portnoy sort of presents it. And they got 48, I think, of the YouTube content creators at this mad course. Looks like it's in Colorado or Utah, all rocks and wild buffaloes roaming about the place. And they've played some sort of insane Ryder Cup format with $1.7 million at stake. And it's been fucking really good. And it's just a bit daft. But I have found myself this afternoon giggling at myself, asking the AI, when's episode 5 of the Internet Invitational dropping? I can see both Barry and everyone in the chat is absolutely riveted by all of this. Someone must know. I want messages of people who've watched the Internet Invitational. There's a little, can you say dwarf, Barry, before we get cancelled? You say little person, don't you?
Vertically challenged, is it?
He's a little person called Chazzy. He's a fucking machine. He plays like with full-size clubs, and he mashes this thing 300 yards. Like, he's about 2'4". It's absolutely quality. Danny said he absolutely loves the nonsense that gets talked about on the international football content. 13 minutes in, Baz, we've done so far. I reckon we're about 25% of what we have to fill in. So yeah, watch that, Baz. You can catch up on the Internet Invitation.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to it,
Paige is playing in it, if you're aware of the work of Paige Sporanic. Then that's been very good. Here's Betty with a black, what's that, a bonnet? Yeah, it's a black bonnet. Do your children have hair bonnets?
None of them in this house.
No, we've got bonnets. Silk bonnets, apparently, keeps your hair nice.
I've got one, obviously.
You've got, I can see yours.
Yeah. Trying to cultivate a regrowth, but it's not working.
You can get stuff for that now, but college basketball tips off this week. Make sure to subscribe to the College Experience, catch the daily podcasts, and download the SGPN app for free college basketball picks. Weekend picks in the Prem. I went 5-5, but I finished ahead 11.5 units, which was fine. Because 4 of the 5 winners that I had were odds against, 4+ money winners. And it was all the money line plays for me. I picked 5 money line plays up to 10 games, and 4 of them hit. Everton, Brentford, Nottingham Forest, and Manchester City. My other winner was the both teams to score in Sunderland Arsenal, which was really more play on I was getting 5-4 on what I thought was heads or tails, even though they'd had 9 clean sheets in a row. So yeah, I was all right with that. I'm not entirely sure how I didn't make it to 13 or 15 or even 17 units. I had Tottenham on the money line at 7-4, conceded with 10 seconds left. Both teams to score over 2.5 in Villa Bournemouth. Missed penalty, cost me there. And I had over 9 shots in Chelsea Wolves. Well, shots on target. Chelsea had 8 shots on target, Barry. And you've guessed it, Wolves could not muster a shot up, so that one lost as well. West Ham Burnley was an average pick. I had Burnley double chance. They did score first, and for half an hour, they were the better team. I don't really know how that got away from them. Lee might be able to tell us more about that. And my only really bad pick was the BTTS and over 2.5 in Palace Brighton, which finished goalless because Brighton just do what the fuck they want. Son's consequences. My exotics missed. I just didn't get I had all the right picks, just in the wrong order. So I didn't get anything right. But Barry, you know fine well who was in the winner's circle, don't you? Data Dave was back 5-4. Fucking hell. Are we wasting our time? At what point do we phase out, Barry, our picks and get Data Dave just to do it? Like, Chelsea to win to 0. I've just said Wolves had no shots on target. So at no point was Data Dave's bet threatened at all. Chelsea to win to 0. 5-4 plus 125. So I think Data Dave is now 8-2. Because he's
pushing the prices up a bit now as well. He was picking his 8 to 11s and that.
Well, this is the thing with Data Dave. he's just cold as ice, like, do you know what I mean? He's not bothered. He's taking the right bet. There's no such thing as the right price or the wrong price. Do you know what I mean? He's just taking the right bet, but so that was my week. Finished ahead, which I'm all right with. I'll take that every week. Did you pick us a winner?
I picked 5 winners. I had 5 winners, 5 losers, so I was right down the middle of the road. Man United team total was a fortunate one with that last gasp second goal for Man United. So that got off to a good start. I didn't do well. I took Fulham and Burnley as my underdogs in the afternoon. They let me down. Chelsea handicap was easy. Villa Bournemouth goals, Brentford Newcastle goals again came in fairly comfortably, and Forest to win. We both said was a good one. My lock hit. Chelsea handicap was my lock. And the one that's hit for me again this week, Malcolm, at a big old price, was the scorer 2 weeks in a row. Despite Newcastle losing, I've served up a 7.5 to 1 first scorer pick. So it was Jacob Murphy last week, 5 to 2 anytime, 15 to 2 first goal scorer. And this week it was Harvey Barnes, same odds, 5 to 2 anytime, 15 to 2 first scorer. So yeah, just keep picking whoever's playing on the left or right for Newcastle to take the first goal, and then Newcastle to turn into absolute dog shit after that.
They'd lose 3-1, yeah. Yeah, we'll get onto that possibly.
Yeah,
in the eye catches. Smudger's saying it was Scott Parker's substitutions were the reason that Burnley got turned over the other day. I'll give you a little update on the Predict Addict League. This week number 10, 11 even, was won by, here we bloody go, Nick Roach with 10 points. Neil Haig, my old gaffer from work, who retired last week. Neil got 9. Joe Dollar, I tell you what, he's chipping away, you know. He's been very consistent. Joe Dollar, 8. Brad Parker, 8. Connor McSpirit, 8. Jordan, 8. Stephen Begg, 8. And Tyler, 8. Betty Bamford had 6. Robert Bamford had 6. Malcolm Bamford had 5.
Have you missed my name out?
Yeah, well, I checked yesterday. I think you had 3, didn't you? Where were you?
I don't know. I'm assuming not a lot.
No, I haven't missed your name out. I'm fucking schooling. I'm getting carpal tunnel syndrome trying to find you down the bottom. 3 points, Barry. A meagre, near pathetic 3 points.
That's ridiculous.
Overall standings, Chris Swain has a 4-point lead over Cree and Cam Burke. Bob Bamford's into 3rd, the wanker. Joe Dollar, all the cool kids are tied for 4th, including me and Joe Dollar. So we'll update that up when it's time. Okay. We'll do the eye catchers, Baz. Obviously, we've got quite a bit of time to let this breathe this week. We are brought to you by MyBookie.ag, your place to bet on football and everything else. The prop builder is second to none. The motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Easy deposit, lightning fast payouts using crypto. Head to MyBookie.ag. Promo code is PLGP for a 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. MyBookie.ag, promo code PLGP. And we're brought to you by Novig, America's #1 sports prediction market. You're getting the best prices at Novig, available in over 35 states. Download the Novig app, get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. Eye catches. Start with the top of the table because I wanted to talk about the title race. Arsenal, having dropped points at the weekends, are now 4 to 6. Manchester City are 9 to 4, plus 225. I want to start with the Sunderland Arsenal game because I still wasn't impressed with Arsenal, and I'm not just fucking downplaying anything Sunderland have done because actually it's nothing but impressive. But I'm just still not impressed with Arsenal. And really, this game demonstrates why. They just don't do enough again, and they rely far too heavily on this identity they've created. I've said it early in the season. They've got no creativity. They were there. They went 1-0 down. So if it goes off script, they're playing a holding midfielder as centre forward. And then I was like, when I'm watching the match, I'm often like making notes in my head for stuff I'm going to say. And I couldn't believe how dog shit Trossard was. And of course, he went and then thunder twatted that one into the top corner, didn't he? And it might still, because as we just talked about, they've set the trend. So they're at the forefront of this new way of playing. So it might still be enough to win the league. And also, there's not much opposition, unless Manchester City, who got 2 points back this weekend, unless they get really hot. But they even just showed with that defeated Villa a couple of weeks ago that they're a little bit inconsistent. So it might just be enough for Arsenal to win the league. But I'm still not having it, Baz. Like, I thought they were desperate to watch. I thought they were absolutely dog shit. They didn't deserve to win. It looked like they were going to, and then Sunderland equalised. But yeah, I'm just not really buying it, Baz. And yes, everybody, we'll get on to LDU Keto in a minute, you bunch of knobbers. Baz, Sunderland, Arsenal?
Yeah, I didn't see it. I was at the gig. I was in Rock City at the time, so I didn't watch the game. But obviously, I haven't seen Sunderland take the lead and had the updates coming through. I was quite happy to see Arsenal get 2-1 ahead, and very surprised to see them blow it at the end. But yeah, I didn't watch the game, and obviously my pick of Arsenal win to 0 was gone very, very quickly.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Barry is instigating a pylon on my. If you remember the last international, was it the last international break? I don't think it was.
It was. I'm sure it was like the Premier League episode last week where we had loads to talk about. You managed to spend 5 minutes talking about some South American game.
I was so convinced.
I think it was the biggest handicap of the whole night, despite the fact you had 10 Premier League games to cover.
I did a solid 7 minutes on.
What was the final outcome on it? You said
the bet of the century was LDU Quito +2 because they cut a swathe through all the Brazilian teams and the Copa Libertadores and had won the first leg 3-0. And you know, like we say, when you watch Newcastle away, you can tell within 5 minutes. This game kicked off at midnight or 1:30 in the morning, I think. I'm sitting there doing commentary. Within 90 seconds, I just knew they were going to get smashed. Like, Palmeiras were all over them like a fucking rash. The one tight thing that didn't go my way was that Palmeiras got the second goal in like the 49th minute in added time of the first half. If they'd got to half-time at 1-0, I might have just had a squeak. But they went 2-0, 5 minutes in the second. They just absolutely battered them. I sent you a laughing. I think before you'd even gone to bed, I'd sent you Tiger, our Brazilian correspondent. He'd kind of agreed with me a little bit. I messaged him the next morning saying, fucking hell, put myself out on a ledge there. There's a full pylon going on. Yeah, the Ajax pick was just as bad. We keep saying every time we have a really shocking bet, we should have made a list of the worst bets because we've had some absolute fucking howlers. Like, we've had some handicap teams have lost 5 and 6-0 and stuff like that. We like a bit like the tit list. We could have easily had a
shame, shouldn't we?
We absolutely had a Hall of Fame. Fef, I did shout out Trey Hume last week. I don't think you were in the chat for the last. You were in the live last time, so I did comment on your Trey Hume pick. City Liverpool yesterday. Firstly, I'd like to point out that it was very funny. There's no question there. Anyone in their right mind will agree that it was objectively fucking hilarious. And plainly put, Man City were much better than Liverpool. That's it in a nutshell. However, what a dog shit decision to disallow that goal. Fucking hell, it made me laugh.
Fuck him. He's fucking right in his eye. I mean, how can that keeper see anything, man?
Thing is, though, everyone's saying about the VAR.
Why is Andy Robinson standing there and not coming out? You should get out the way. Fucking move.
I mean, it took me back. You know exactly what I'm going to say. It took me back to Joe Hart pointing at fucking Johan Gouffran when Czech Dioti's Thunderbolt was disallowed all those years ago, and I still haven't recovered from that. It has spurned more VAR chat, but the linesman gave it. So really...
I'm not sure. Obviously, he's in an offside position, and the linesman doesn't put his flag up. There's the discussion there, isn't there, with the ref, where the linesman's obviously saying, well, he's miles offside, but I'm going to let you decide whether he's interfering. And I think the ref says to the linesman, I think he's interfering, put your flag up. So then he puts the flag up. But it wasn't like it went in and he put...
Nothing to do with the VAR, is it?
That was one of the things... one of the things Slot said afterwards, said it took 13 seconds for the linesman to put his flag up. And I think it's one of them, isn't it, where they'll be having Van Dijk's off in the corner celebrating and they're talking to each other saying, oh, what do you think? What do you think? And then 10 seconds later, they make that decision. And I suppose they've got to make a decision, haven't they? And then VAR didn't want to overturn it. But yeah, it was their call on the pitch, I think, wasn't it? And VAR just said, yeah, crack on.
I'd have been absolutely furious if that had been us. However, it wasn't. And by that point at the weekend, I really needed something to cheer me up. And that was it. Tottenham Man United was worth looking at. They're just both shit. Like, Man United aren't back. Can I make that announcement? Anyone who thought they were, they're not. And I don't know what Tottenham are playing. Thomas Frank, I thought, had a bit more about him. I'm not really sure what's gone on there. But it was like neither team wanted to win, and then Tottenham found themselves accidentally in front, panicked, and thought, oh, shit, I don't know what to do yet. We better let them score. Richarlison's second episode of taking his shirt off to celebrate a winner, only for the other team to equalise, is absolutely top quality.
You'd think you would learn, wouldn't you? The second he took that shirt off, I was like, has he ever scored a goal and not been booked for taking his shirt off? I don't know if he has.
But yeah, I was in the pub last time when he done it against Liverpool. Because obviously that was even funnier with the Everton connection. The other thing when he takes his shirt off, he's got a massive tattoo with his own face on his back. I think it's him. It's not anyone else, is it? Like, unless he's got a twin brother and it's a homage. But like, oh, look at me. Like, it's he's a definite oddball, that lad. But I do enjoy him taking his shirt off only for the opposition to equalise while he's still tucking it in on the halfway line. Any further thoughts on Tottenham Man United, Barry?
No, as I say, I got very lucky with my pick. But actually, I mean, I'm glad you agree they're both dog shit, because that sort of feeds into one of my picks that's coming up soon. But I'll explain that when we get to it.
If that's heading in a certain direction, Barry, I might reach for the ray. I didn't think I need the ray gun tonight, but I've got a pick which does Man U and Tottenham being shit helps out with one of my picks as well. Brentford, Newcastle.
Tell you what, that deserves more than a ray gun if we go on a team ride when we haven't even discussed what markets.
Any competition, any market globally. Brentford, Newcastle was brilliant, Baz. I mean, colour me astonished that. So here's the thing. So you see teams sometimes make similar mistakes. Teams can be vulnerable in certain spots. We've seen Man United and Tottenham. We've just talked about them over the last couple of years, things they can't do. But never has it been more crystal clear than the last two Sundays for Newcastle United. So we go to West Ham last week, an away game on a Sunday in the nation's capital, having come off a 2-0 home win against Tottenham. We pick a team, we go 1-0 up. The goalkeeper concedes a goal by punching the ball when he should have caught it. We're absolutely dog shit for the entire game. We get beat 3-1. Fast forward 7 days, having come off the back of a comfortable 2-0 win against Bilbao in the Champions League, we head to the nation's capital to take on a comparable team. We pick the exact same fucking 11. We go 1-0 up. We concede an equaliser because the keeper won't catch the fucking ball. We proceed to be dog shit and get stuffed 3-1. What the fuck was all of that about? Why would you go there and just do the same thing? The only thing that stopped me getting the cheese grater out, right? And you know the end that you do the Parmesan with, not the big end, grating my penis down to an absolute nub, was that we weren't wearing the green kit. If we'd had the green kit on whilst we were losing yesterday...
That was the only thing they did change this week, wasn't it? Was the kit. Like everything else...
I would have grated my cock clean off. But other than that, I didn't. But fucking hell, Barry. It's unbearable. And, sorry, I will take a positive. The positive is we could back Brentford at 2-1, which was one of my picks, because the fucking handicap could not have been more crystal clear. Yeah, anything from you?
I mean, it was... The thing that got me was, I mean, the result and the performance, there was nothing unexpected. It was almost inevitable that was going to happen. You take the lead, and the longer it went on that we didn't get a second goal, you just thought, see what's coming here. The Dan Burn thing was puzzling because I have no idea how he didn't give away a penalty and a red card 10 minutes earlier. And then I've no idea why Eddie Howe leaves him on. Like, I'm sitting there just thinking, he's on a yellow. He's just got away with one. Because that was a pen. I mean, the worst thing was that he absolutely books him for diving as well. Like, and VAR look at it. And it's a penalty all day long. It's a penalty, and it probably would have been a second yellow at that point. So the fact that the next one was probably softer, it was inevitable Burn was going to go. But he shouldn't have been on the pitch because they were fucking ripping him to pieces all game anyway. I mean, Eddie Howe came out and said the only reason he was still on the pitch is because we were worried about their long throws and we needed his height. Like, you've got Botman, you've got Chow, you've got Voldemar. There's plenty of
the keeper to come and catch the fucker.
You've got a big 7-foot keeper there. Like, Burn there was no doubt about it. He was going to get caught out again and make a mistake. And sure enough, it happened. As soon as that challenge went in, for fuck's sake, why have we left him on? You've got Lewis Hall sitting there, fucking one of the best left backs in the league, sitting on the bench while Dan Burn gets torn apart. Rubbish.
Yeah, I'm not saying I've like given up taking my new job seriously, but I was doing Forest Leeds at the same time. I didn't bother getting my desk out. I sat fucking horizontal in my corner, doing live commentary of Forest Leeds. But then, because it was on multi-screen, wasn't it? So I thought I could do the commentary watching the 4-game multi-screen, which was quite tricky when the Forest Leeds games was up in the corner, about 4 inches by 5 inches. So I'm commentating. I was like, that's probably a throw-in. It's probably Dan and Doy taking it. I can't really see because I'm watching Newcastle. And then I got a message off you about Dan Burn going off. I then got a message off Simmers about Dan Burn going off. After the game, I had a brief look at the socials, and the like first 12 messages. Why hasn't he taken Dan Burn off? He's going to get sent off. So everyone else in the world knew. Yeah. But anyway, we concentrate on the Champions League. Some of the lads were trying to arrange a golf trip, the Worcester lads, for next April. And I had the temerity before committed to check the Champions League semi-final dates, Barry. I'm not committing to a golf trip when I've got a Champions League semi-final to attend. So that's where I am. Wolves, I wanted to mention, because they are dog shit. I just wanted to mention the new manager, Rob Edwards. I don't really get it. He's been at Middlesbrough 2 minutes. He's decided to jump ship to go from Middlesbrough to Wolves. Very similar sized clubs, I would say. Like, almost identical. Like, up and down, sort of yo-yo teams. Sort of teams second or third string in their particular area of the country. I mean, Middlesbrough won a trophy and had European adventures more recently, but very similar sized teams. And I just think that Wolves are 1 to 10 now to go down. So that's minus 1,000 to end up in the same division next season. Assuming Middlesbrough don't get promoted, by the way.
Middlesbrough are 6 to 4 to be promoted. Like, there's a much better chance of Middlesbrough being promoted than there is of Wolves surviving. So he had more chance of being a Premier League manager by staying where he was.
And like I say, I have some loyalty. Like, he's been there this season. Like, I just don't get it. It doesn't speak particularly highly of the man. I thought it was a bad look for him. So he's got his work cut out. The squad looks a little bit dog shit now. So, yeah, I wasn't hugely keen on that. Like,
no, I thought it was bizarre, as I say. Stay at Borough, you might be in the Premier League next year. Go to Wolves, you're definitely not going to be in the Premier League next year, I don't think.
Okay. Any more eye catchers for you, Baz? I am out.
No, I think that was about it, really. I think you've covered all of the key protagonists.
35 minutes, Baz. We're absolutely smashing the granny out of this. Okay, we'll make some picks. We've had a look at
the one that I did want to mention that you didn't bring up when we talked about Liverpool. Liverpool have wrote a letter today. What do you think about that?
Oh, yes. Yeah. We haven't had that for a while. It was
when clubs write a letter, strongly worded. I think Arsenal done that back in the day, didn't they?
Nottingham Forest write letters as well.
Nottingham Forest, yeah, they write a lot of letters. But yeah, Liverpool wrote a letter expressing their dissatisfaction. So we'll see if that gets them any points for letter writing. I don't know. Who knows?
My mate Michael Oliver getting all the fucking stick today. Wasn't even his fault. Lino put his flag up, didn't he? Not Michael's fault. Underdog is your home for pick 'em entries. You can win up to 5,000 times your money. Brand new offer. Play $5, get $100 in bonus funds. You sign up with the code PLGP. And Rhythm is crushing it in college football, NFL, and just added NBA. Rhythm is giving you weekly cash prizes. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build, and you could win $1,000. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm, use promo code SGPN25. Right then. We've been teasing this for a little while, Barry.
Here we
the
go.
teams are out. They've jigged in and out the cones, Barry. The referee has changed the battery pack on his communication device. And it's time to kick off for the second half, Barry. Right. Let's just get some housekeeping out the way. We've had to sort your cards out. So you had a shot, ended the half with a shot on target, didn't you? Barry's 2-0 up. Ended the half with a shot on target, which I repelled. Another save from Robin Bravo. So that good card is when Betty sent you another card. So what's happened is all the discards have been shuffled and are back in the discard pile. We have retained the 8 cards. This is brilliant. We have retained the 8 cards that we finished with in the second half. And it's me to kick off, Barry. I've got the chess style ledger there, which shows that you kicked off the first half. So, and also we've switched the board around. So you're now going from right to left as I look,
or from me, isn't it?
Left. You're going that way, and I'm going that way. All right, you got that? Right. Okay. So. Right. Here we go, everybody. Good luck. Enjoy. Barry 2-0 up. A long way back. Getting some advice to park the bus here. Fef wants to see what my team talk was. I've had the hairdryer out, Fef. Let me tell you. Hairdryer's been out. I'm going to go. I'll tell you what. Oh, I can't do that, can I? I can't take a free kick, Baz, straight from the kickoff. That's cheating. I'm just going to go. Oh, why are they all fucking going that way? Right, okay, that's fine. I'm going to go 6 forwards, Baz. That bad boy there. Looks like Paul Mariner, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're on, Barry. I'm going to have to. F7. You're off.
Right. I need to have a think about this now, don't I? Well, I think so, yeah.
What are you going to do? What's your plan? Are you going to keep it tight a bit or what? Are you going to go for the third?
I'm going to fucking go for it, like.
Oh, yeah. Good.
I'm absolutely going to smash the shit up. Right. I'm going to fight. I'm going to take a free. I can take a free kick first and then play a free kick. Right? Yeah. So I'm going to go free kick, forward 3.
Yeah.
Diagonal 3 to the left. So going towards goal. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that puts you on A4, just over the halfway line, Barry.
And then I'm going to go 4 diagonally right.
Fucking hell. It's fucking into me already. Yeah.
4 forward.
Ooh, so you put it right in the 6-yard box, Baz.
Ooh, I thought it was going to be a shot on goal. That.
Nah, the ball.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's all right.
So the ball, for anyone playing along at home, I know most of you are, the ball is in the blue area, and it is in I8. That's I8. Okay, well done. Enjoyed that, Baz. I'll get your 2 cards to you at the next available opportunity. Get rid of it, Danny says. Does he mean the game, or does he mean the ball? Bob came in before, and I had the little board out. I've got a little table next to me with the board. And Bob just came in and went, fucking hell, are you still playing that? which was funny. Bob, I was telling Baz earlier on, Bob, there was chaos at 7:30 this morning. Spilled his cup of coffee on his bed, didn't he? However, which is not the end of the world, but what he got in trouble for was apparent lack of urgency in reporting it to the authorities. He just continued on with his getting ready for school and then went upstairs and said to the IT department, oh, by the way, ma'am, I've spilt my coffee on my bed. By which case, of course, it's all soaked through. Like most people would have had the common sense to, throw the sheets off and stuff like that. Not Bob brushes his teeth, gets his socks and shoes on and everything, then goes and tells admin. I think spilled. So, yeah, he's been in the doghouse today. What we doing? Picks. Yes.
Picks? Fucking hell, 40 minutes it's taken us to get a pick out.
Well done. Hey, Barry, this is brilliant. Better than we planned. Right. So, Premier League. You said you got some Premier League stuff. I wanted to focus on Aston Villa, Barry. Was that where you ended up? Do I need the ray gun? Oh, my God. Barry's nodding. This is fucking epic. And I'm just trying to get the Champions League page up here. Sorry, I'm multitasking. England, Premier League, sorry. I wanted to focus on Villa. So currently sitting in 6th. They are 2nd in the form table alongside Manchester City behind Arsenal. And we've got to remember with Villa is they didn't win in the first 5 games. So the little run they've put together, it's been quite under the radar until yesterday. I think yesterday was a eye-opener, 4-0 to Bournemouth, because Bournemouth have been one of the good teams. They've won their last 4 home games. And if you can just have a good home run, that keeps you live. They've beaten Manchester City and Bournemouth in their last 2 home games, keeping clean sheets in both as well. City and Bournemouth, probably 2 of the most expansive teams going forward. That's really, really strong form. So the picks are the prices, Baz, for top 4, top 5, and top 6 finish, I think are very, very big. So how I broke it down was I'll give Arsenal and City the top 2. I think that's reasonable. I think if you want to be generous, and I'm not sure this is actually accurate, but Liverpool and Chelsea are your options for 3rd and 4th. So if you want to lock them in, I understand it. But both look vulnerable to stuff going wrong. We know what Chelsea are like, they're flaky. And Liverpool just seem a bit schizophrenic at the minute. I'm not sure what they're doing. And after that, who? Man U and Tottenham, we've just discussed. Dog shit. No. Sunderland? Doubt it. Bournemouth? No. Newcastle? They're already a little bit too far behind and don't look like they're going to... They might go on a run, but still. Brighton? No. So that leaves Villa kind of minimum 5th to me, with the possibility of a little bit of a higher ceiling. So depending on how brave you are, the fucking prices are massive. Top 6 is 9-4 plus 225. I think it's a huge price. Top 5 is 3-1 and top 4 is 9-1. Even if you wanted to split stakes, like I say, ladder it up, maybe go something like 60, 25 and 15% of a unit on top 4, 5 and 6. But that's where I looked at a ton of competitions, I looked at a ton of markets, and that stood out to me, Bat.
Well, yeah, first market I went to was the exact same market, top 5, and then eventually I got to the top 6 market as well. So as you say, top of the table, you've got Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea occupying the top 3. I think it's reasonable to consider those 3 are likely to remain in the top 5. Chelsea certainly aren't nailed for it. Chelsea could drop away, but the other 2 should be nailed on. The expectation, obviously, that Liverpool will come back into the mix. I think that's fair enough. Currently sitting just 1 point outside the top 5. So even if you say those 4 are locked up for the top 4, it leaves you with Sunderland in 4th. I'm fairly happy to rule them out of this. They've exceeded everyone's expectations. Wherever they end up this season, it's probably going to be a good season because they probably won't get relegated now. Top 5, I think, is going to be far too much of a stretch. So then you look at the next 3 in the league. You've got Spurs, Villa, Man United occupying 5th, 6th and 7th. Identical records, 5 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses. But you've mentioned Villa. They've got a terrible start. And the form now just looks so much better. I couldn't believe Man United were evens for this. So I got Man United evens, Villa 7-2, Spurs 5-1. I think Man United are far too short. It's not like they're evens in a 3-horse race as well. It's not necessarily just those 3. One of the other ones you mentioned, Palace, Bournemouth, Brighton, Newcastle, could come into the mix. Evens far too short for Man United. So yeah, the standout for me was Villa. They started the season badly. Recent form saw them climb the table. They've won 5 of the last 6, including good wins over likes of Spurs, City, Bournemouth. Did lose to Liverpool in that recent run. But I just think they're more likely to have more of a consistent sort of run throughout the season than Man United and Spurs. So yeah, I was looking at Villa, Man United, Spurs as the main contenders. 7-2 Villa looked massive for top 5. And then actually, the more I looked at it, I got into the top 6 market, and I thought the 9-4 for top 6 is probably the better bet of the two. But yeah, same thing. Villa top 5, Villa top 6.
Fucking hell, Barry. Team ride on that. That almost makes the previous 46 minutes even more of a waste of time that we haven't even managed to give 2 picks out. Fef's made us laugh. Making Barry spend hours, let me tell you. A team of experts here shoveling coal into the machine to keep everything working. And Fef pipes up. Villa are shite. The folk. So Fef's argument is, apart from that they're shite, he's got Man United and Spurs finishing above them. Fuck off, man. The Man United are pony. Absolute fucking cat. So, yeah, there you go.
I'll crack on next, Malcolm, because I've got the relegation market in the Premier League.
All right, yeah, I'm moving into Europe.
You've delved into Europe. I've stayed domestic in all of mine. So, in the relegation market, you said Wolves 1-10. When I was looking on Sky Bet, 1-25 on their Wolves.
Wow.
So 2 points, Wolves, massive favourites to go down. Burnley are next in the betting. They're 3-10, minus 330. Sitting on 10 points. West Ham are also on 10 points. They're 10-11 in the market. So they're the top 3 in the betting. Wolves, Burnley, West Ham. Despite Forest being 1 point worse off than Burnley and West Ham, they are a bigger price. Forest 11-4. Leeds 15-8. Fulham 5-1. Sitting on 11 points. So that covers all of the main contenders. I haven't put Newcastle in there. I think we'll be all right. But we are only 1 point ahead of Fulham and Leeds, to be fair, at this point. The other two, as I say, Wolves, I think, tailed off. I don't see any way back from them. But it does look quite open from there. The other two occupying the bottom 3 at the moment have had a little upturn in form in the last 2 weeks. West Ham have won 2 in a row. Forest with a win and a draw gets them right back in touch with those just above them. I do feel like West Ham will probably have enough. And they're not going to be brilliant. They're going to be in the mix. But I think Nuno will get a tune out of them, certainly enough to keep them safe. I think Fulham will get away from it. They're better than their current form suggests, I think. I'm still not sure about Forest. And I'm not sure about Dyche at Forest. But I think Burnley will struggle. They can't beat anyone of note. They couldn't beat West Ham the other day, who aren't even a decent side. They've won 3 games so far, but they came against Leeds, Wolves and Sunderland. Now, granted, Sunderland are better than we expected, but the wins coming against 2 promoted sides and the team who are rock bottom suggests they'll chip away at it and they'll win a few of those against the teams around them. But ultimately, I think they're probably not going to pick up enough points to be safe. But Burnley are too short to back anyway, 3-10. But Leeds are the team that interests me. Like Burnley, the wins for Leeds are only coming around those bottom end teams. They've beaten West Ham, they've beaten Wolves. That's it. Away from home, form is really poor. But the biggest thing for Leeds is the lack of goals. They've scored only 10 in the 11 games so far, and they've been shut out 5 of those 11 games. And I'm just sitting there thinking, you look at that pool of teams that are in the mix. Have Leeds got more about them than Forest or West Ham? And I'm not so sure. And I think at the prices, I think Leeds look all right. I think Wolves are done. Burnley and Leeds might well be the two that join them. But Burnley around 1-3, and Leeds are sitting at 2. You can get 2-1 Leeds to be relegated. I think Leeds are decent value. They'll be there or thereabouts. So I like Leeds to be relegated 2-1.
Yeah, I watched them yesterday. What stymied them was conceding so quickly. They never had a chance to get themselves in the game. They conceded immediately after scoring because they weren't terrible. But then again, it was Nottingham Forest who weren't brilliant either. So, yeah, I don't mind it. They haven't scored many goals, Leeds. But if the home form, though, is lively, they're going to give most teams a good game at home. So I don't mind it, Baz. Fef's trying to get some sort of match bet going with me. I know company policy with bets with listeners is a bottle of spirits, but he doesn't drink. Bootle's joined us in the chat. I don't know if Bootle's being facetious or not. But he says Tottenham will by far finish above all of those teams because who's coming back? Kulusevski. Is that it? I can't tell if he's joking or not. That's how obscure a fucking reference it is. So there you go. Right, I moved across to Europe, Barry, for my picks. Have I read all the adverts out? I have, haven't I?
Yeah.
And I've got a pick in the Champions League and I've got a pick in the Europa League. So, Champions League pick, we are halfway through the league phase, 4 out of 8 games played. The table actually looks pretty solid. There's not many teams up there that you'd expect not
Is
to
the
be up
pick
there or
Newcastle
vice
to make the
versa.
semi-final, Malcolm?
Newcastle to make the semi-finals are given 8-11. That is, I think. The market I'm in is the top 8 finish, Barry. So I know we've got a limited sample of how many points you need to get in there, but last year Villa made it in 8th with 16 points. The Europa League, which was the same format, it was 14 points. So we're looking sort of 14, 15, 16. And the team that caught my eye was Borussia Dortmund. They're currently sitting on 7 points, so they're 2 points outside that top 8. But they've played the toughest part of their schedule. They did score 4 goals in all 3 of their first 3 games. That was part of a handicap your last game, Baz. They scored 4 times against Juventus, Bilbao, and Copenhagen. And they actually did okay for a bit against Manchester City. City got away late on, but that sort of game's not going to define them. The crucial thing here is Dortmund's next 2 games. They're at home against Villarreal and Bodo Glimt. Now, I don't know, when we come to do those weekly shows, what price are going to be to beat Villarreal and Bodo? They're going to be fucking 2-5, 1-3 to beat them both. So I think given average look or average form, you can give them 6 points, which gets them to 13. They then go to Tottenham. Without wanting to labour the point, we've just established that that's shit. Bootles, please, he's turned up. He's catching strays now. This wasn't planned. And they finish at home to Winter. At home, Dortmund give anyone a game. Inter might be done by then. Inter is sitting with 4 wins from 4, I think, at the top of the group. And even if Inter do have something to play for, doesn't mean Dortmund can't pick something off them. So there's definitely 8 or 9 points there for Dortmund. And they're 3-1 to make it into that top 8. I mean, if you had those 6 points on, they ain't going to be 3-1. Like, if you want to take them to beat Villarreal and Bodo Glimt next to. So 3-1 Dortmund to finish in the top 8. And then finally, I went into the Europa League. There's a lot of value around because it's a bit more even. The teams are all sort of much of a muchness. The first pick I've got now, this pick is it's not a real pick. It is, but I'm not giving it out. This pick is for the richest 2% of our listeners, Barry, because it's a 2-5 shot, minus 250. Yeah. Now, it's obviously not a genuine pick, but it's better interest than the bank. So, as much as we promote responsible gambling, I urge everyone to go get all the money out, sell your house, whatever. And how do we pronounce Midtjylland, Barry? What's the consensus there?
That'll do for me.
Be all right with Midtjylland. Played 4-1-4, 12 points. Already mentioned 14 points made it in last year. You fucking Barry, this price is obscene, by the way. 14 points last year. They play Roma and Brandbergen away. They play Genk and Zagreb at home. They're fucking in great form. Played 4-1-4. They've scored 11 goals. They've covered the handicap 3 times. They're flying in the Danish league. They're 2-5 to make it into the top 8. You only need 2 points from 4 games. It's Brandbergen and Genk when they've been hammering all sorts of teams. It's an obscene price, like. So, yeah, get yourself on the 2-5. However, I realise that's not necessarily a working man's price. They're 7-1 to win the group, to win the league stage. So they're 2 points in front. I just said a naughty word then. They're 2 points in front of the current favourites, who are Freiburg. Fucking Freiburg. Freiburg have got 2 tricky away trips, Pilsen and Lille to come. 7-1's too big for Midtjylland. They're being underrated because they're not a big name, basically. But my main play in this is a team you actually watched a couple of weeks ago, Barry. I'm going to go with Ferencváros.
They're going well, aren't they, in this? I noticed that. I had a look at this competition, actually. I didn't come up with a pick. But I was surprised at how well they were doing, because when I watched them, they were fucking dog shit.
Well, the eye test doesn't count it. The third in the table, Baz, 10 points. So 5 points definitely gets them in. Maybe 4 gets them in the top 8. They play Rangers at home, who were plumb bottom and dog shit. And Panathinaikos, as discussed last week. Greek teams don't travel, same as the Turks, away at Ajax. So that's the key to them getting in. But they go to Fenerbahce, who aren't brilliant, and they go to Forest. They're 40-1 to finish top of the group. I think that's worth 1/4 point. But 7-4 to get in the top 8. Again, let's say they're on 10 points. 4 or 5 points there for Ferencváros. That's a great price, 7-4. So, Dortmund, I tried to double them up, and Sky Bet wouldn't let me double them up for some reason. I don't know why. Totally unrelated contingencies. And Midtjylland at 2-5. Barry, sell your Ferrari and get the proceeds on. What's Bootle's trying to suggest here? If Spurs finish above Newcastle, I'll do a Baz and go bald. I mean, I'm not sure about that. I feel the problem with that is, like Barry, none of my mates have got any hair. So this is like everybody's hair. This isn't just my hair. I feel like I'm responsible for everyone's hair. Like, I'm keeping the fire burning for everyone. If Barry wants to come and have a touch and a rub, he can. If he wants to shampoo it, it's fine. So it's not really my hair. This is representative hair. This is like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like ceremonial hair kind of thing. So yeah, we'll discuss it, Bootle. It's a possible. And I don't know, by the way, Bootle, what you've got going on your head either. So you could easily be trapping me. Barry, 57 minutes.
I've got one more pick. I'm not done.
You said you had 2 Premier League picks and that was it?
And a token championship pick. It won't take as long, but I'll pop it out.
We haven't got long now.
Yeah, well, it's all right. That's fine. Just one little eye catcher in the championship. If FOF didn't like me bigging up Aston Villa, he's definitely not going to like this one. For Derby County, they are the form side in the championship at the minute. Derby County, 5-1 for Derby County to make the top 6. They've won 5 in a row, lost only 1 of their last 9. They did make a load of new signings in the summer, and I think it just feels like things are starting to click. Had a few good wins lately against decent sides. 6th place is always wide open as well. Anyone can make a little run for that. They're only 2 points off it at the moment. Haven't had a really similar to Villa. Really, they didn't have a good start to the season at all, but they've turned things around. 6th place wide open, 2 points off it at the moment. 5-1 for Derby County to finish in the top 6. Just to wind up FF and any other Forest fans that are listening.
I think, Barry, this is episode 320. I think this is the most listeners we've antagonised on one show. We've got quite a few in. Callum got some early on. Bootle caught a few strays. Fef was a man down. I can't remember who else. Joe Dollar, we got him as well. We've taken a few out tonight, Baz. Good effort. Over 4.5 listeners agitated by our antics. And with absolutely nothing to talk about, Barry, we've talked for 59 minutes and 30 seconds, which is in itself quite remarkable. Pride of Britain Award can only be on its way to us. Barry, do you have anything you want to tell the people about before we let them go? I mean, did you have any more lifestyle you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I don't.
No, done.
Nah. Fucking people get sick of listening to me telling you what gigs I'm going to go to every week, don't they? It becomes a bit repetitive now.
I'm going to a gig next Monday, Barry, but I'm just going to tease it because it's 2 shows away. So I don't have to tell you about it now, but I'm quite excited. I'm going gigging next Monday night.
I think I've still got another 3 before Christmas, maybe 4.
Good times.
So plenty.
I mean, the good news is that we're going to be back inside 48 hours doing this all again, Barry, with international picks. I mean, if Wednesday night, are you available?
Should be fine. I love the international stuff. I'll shuffle the calendar around for the international show, obviously, because love it, don't I?
My main play of the week takes place on Thursday in Africa.
Ooh, I tell you what, Danny's asking for a bamboo boxers update. I'll give you an update on that next episode.
I saw a picture of them.
Yeah, but there's quality issues.
Oh no!
Not impressed.
Did you say you were going to tell us about that? Are you teasing this story?
I'll talk about it next show. Yeah, I've had a little bit of a falling out of love with the quality. So yeah, we'll talk about that next time. We've done an hour here.
Bloody hell!
Yeah. If you want to find out
the
issues, you'll have to wait.
If that doesn't bring the people back, Barry, I don't know what will. Incredible. Thank you, Barry. Thank you, everybody else. I can only apologise. But Premier League's back in a couple of weeks. But until then, good luck with whatever you're doing this week. Spend some time with your family. It'll be fine. We'll see you all down the road. Cheers.